Yo, how's it going, my fellow revelers? Welcome back to another episode of the Festia podcast. I'm your host, Manny, aka Frisky Hug, and today's guest we have Phil. He is one of the co-founders of Radiate. We talk a lot about how him and his co-founder Michael got started with the app, how all of Radiate works, what is Radiate, and then we go through some like really common questions that I've been asked, and I kind of, we talk about that, and then we kind of just bullshit around at the end. This is a really productive episode. I feel like a lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions about Radiate. I am an influencer for Radiate, so I feel like I should know these questions. So it's really great bringing Phil onto the podcast and getting these questions answered. And it's just really kind of just cool to just kind of get to know, like, how Radiate works, stuff like that. We will not be doing the 4 shoutouts of the week. I think I'm gonna kind of slow down on the 4 shoutouts of the week for a while and just kind of just throw them in at whenever I can. But so far it's I don't want to do too many shoutouts, otherwise it kind of loses its taste and its value. But yeah, that is today's episode. We are headed over to Glow Festival tomorrow. We will be over in DC. For those of you that don't know, Glow Festival is a 2-day festival. It's like the first time they're doing it over in DC. It's by Insomniac. We are being hosted by, I mean, my roommate and I are being hosted by our dear friends, Julian and Gina, who I talk a lot about on the podcast. They're also a lot on the vlogs. They're also a lot on my TikToks, really close friends of ours. And I'm also meeting up with a lot of content creators. We got, a lot of content creators, YouTubers, vloggers, stuff like that. And I'm also co-hosting a meetup. It is a Kandi Bar collaboration with House of Plur meetup, special guesting me and Scarlett Vesper onto their meetup. Got a lot of candy that we're training. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We could take a lot of pictures, and I got a lot of actually clothes that I am kind of promoting and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see a lot of you guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully I can upload this fast enough to where maybe you listen to this on your flight/ride to DC. But without further ado, guys, let's get started with the podcast. All right. So I'd like to welcome Phil, one of the co-founders of Radiate, to the podcast.
Hey, everybody.
So, yeah. So, Phil, I know you well because, like, I'm one of the influencers for Radiate, and I literally do all your meetups. I do tons of merch for you guys. But I know you because I had the balls to one day just be like, Phil, I want to work with you. How do we make this happen?
And it was one of the best things that happened.
It was super fucking cool. And then we, this journey has led us to, set point in time. But that's how I know you. And actually, we've actually like pre-game together. We've gone to festivals together. So we've actually done a lot more than just like, hey, business stuff together.
Yeah.
That's how I know you. For the viewers that don't actually know you, if you wouldn't mind just kind of giving an intro about yourself.
Yeah. So, I'll start from where I am now and I'll work backwards. So I'm one of the co-founders of Radiate. Radiate's an app that brings people together through the real life experiences they have or will have in common. But right now, those experiences are mostly music festivals. So if you're going to any major music festival in the US that's electronic related, you can use Radiate to basically meet everybody that's going and connect with the community of festival goers that are going to be there. And it's not just a dating app. There has been marriages, there has been babies, but the primary purpose is friendship and having a better time together. So that's what I'm working on now with my friends over here. And as far as the human being, Phil, I like house music. I grew up in Miami, Florida, moved to New York for college, went to St. John's University, studied economics, didn't use much of my degree, but here I am with student loan debt, just like everybody else, waiting for a president to go paying minimums till then, paying minimums all the way.
Pay off our student loans.
So, got that going on. And generally just like meeting people.
Phil,
I think that's one of the reasons Michael and I kind of started Radiate.
Phil, I think the fan on the corner is like blowing into the mic. Perfect. But you were saying, you were talking about Mike.
Oh yeah, that's just one of the, I think, one of the reasons Mike and I started this was kind of because we both enjoy connecting people and like meeting new people. So that's just one of the things I also like to do.
How did that even start? How, like, you guys just woke up one day at the same time? We're like, let's build an app.
So yeah, I mean, kinda actually. So
You guys are just like, you know, it'd be
yeah.
great, man. You know, it'd
Yeah,
be
so
great.
like, what if there was an app that like connected folks like at festivals, but not for dating?
Like Tinder, but for raves.
Similar. So
Well, that's how you got started, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
it.
kind
That
of.
was verbatim. We just keep it moving. No, Michael and I met when we were like 12, right? We both used to
Oh,
fence.
wow.
Yeah, so we knew each other since we were little kids. And I went to school in New York City. Michael went to Harvard in Boston, or Cambridge, wherever that place is, somewhere in Massachusetts. And then when he moved to New York after college, he hit me up. Was basically like, yo, do you know any parties that we can go to? And I was like, come on through. And so I actually brought him to his first rave. I'm blanking on the DJs, but it was at Pier 54. I want to say it was like Dada Life, back in the day.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. I basically, showed him the community. And at the time, I was working on another website. Because we both used to fence. I had a thing called Ref Finder, where you could hire your referees online. I made in college. So I was working on that. When I graduated, Michael was a software engineer,
Mhm.
and he was just working at like a job. But him and his friends would work after hours, like coming up with their own kind of like projects and ideas. And I was already doing my thing. So one day Michael was like, hey, like come over. His friends would work at Google. Eventually Michael would get a job at Google too.
Mhm.
So they would invite kids over to like just, work after hours and like you eat Google snacks and ride around on their scooters. It was super fun. It was like an awesome time because it was like working at Google without working at Google, but you get all their stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. And while I was there, I basically was going to finish Ref Finder and make it so you could hire referees for like basketball and football and track and field. And Michael was working on another app that in his mind was called Ubble, where basically it was kind of to try and connect people around like their, I would say, sporting communities. So like you were at the gym, you could see in real time who was at the gym and be like, hey, like anybody want to grab a beer after? And so while he was working on this, he was getting feedback and I was working on Ref Finder. And one day we basically just started talking about like social networks and like, Tinder. And, I was like, Tinder. And eventually the conversation came up, which was, what if we just made literally Tinder for festivals, right?
Yeah.
So we started to build that. We gave it to our friends and they were like, hey, this is cool, but I'm looking for a ride. I'm not sure what festival to go to. I already have a boyfriend. It'd be cool to just like meet other couples and like, just have some friends. And so Michael had already built out these forums for his other app, like where you could meet people like they were going to your gym or your karate studio.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we were like, wait, let's just take the Tinder stuff, smash it together with the forums. And why does this platform have to be about dating? Why can't it just be about
Uh-huh.
connecting with your community? And like, we're human, right? Like we're going to get attracted to each other. We're going to probably have sex. We're probably going to get married,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
why does that have to be
It's
the number
already
one?
internal. You don't even
Yeah.
need to like
You don't
glamorize
need to
it.
bring it to the surface so
Uh-huh.
much, right? So, and that's when Radiate was kind of born. That's when we were like, oh, look at this. Yeah.
Wow, man. So
Mhm.
Radiate, I mean, a lot of people I think was it you guys that had it that called it a different name first?
We had it as like oxytocin at one point, but I don't know if that was like public to anybody, but
No.
oxytocin, the hormone.
Then I guess there was another like rave app, and then that one
Mhm.
just like like it tumbled, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like it's crazy because if you guys had gone that route, it might have gone with that other app. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like
Yeah.
because like that only does so well, whereas you're picking a broader category, and we could just nitpick and make our own categories within those categories. We do it all the fucking time. I mean, if you
Mhm.
think about it now, it's like, oh, like where's my LA fam, my New York fam, your local section, and then you create groups within groups within groups. I mean, I've been doing it, Radia's been doing it for a while, and it's like
Yeah.
I tell people this stuff all the time. Is like, the festival itself is a group within the group already. But
Yeah. Totally.
let's see, you and Michael. I mean, you guys are friends forever. And have you guys ever done anything like crazy together? Have you guys have any cool stories?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, for sure. Like you get 10 years or 12 or 15 years of friendship, running into something. I think, the Radiate related, it was our first summer of kind of like being cool. I think it was like 20, like the app being cool.
Uh-huh.
I was born cool, but the app took a little bit to get cool. But like in 2016
Wait,
and 20,
when did it get cool?
we launched, I want to say in 2015, 2016, and in 2017 is when it got cool. That's like when you could go to a festival and people were like all using it in a sense, right? Like you would say like, oh, Radiate, and people would recognize it. Before then it was like, oh, like, can you try my app, please? Like it's cool, I promise. So
Man, that's I can't even fathom like trying to like, market like an app, right? Like, oh, hey, download my app. Like, hey.
yeah. It was weird, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. The struggle is real. The struggle is always real when you're
struggle is so
starting.
real. So, I mean, the coolest story we have is when we were trying to get Radiate off the ground. There's a music festival called Holy Shit. And we hit them up to work with them and basically be like, give them this app for free so that they can like, the attendees can meet each other. And they said, hey, this is really cool, but, we're going to be on a boat and there's no service when you're out at sea. And so Michael and I, like in the beginning, we had no users. So like we were willing to kind of like go above and beyond. And so Michael came up with this idea to basically like replicate everything you need for the app to work without a signal. So like you basically have a local area network right on the boat. And so we told them we could do this. They never got back to us. Michael and I were like, well, that's not a no. And so what we did is we brought all these wires. We brought this giant computer. It looked so much like, I'll laugh now, but like it looked like if there was any package that was going to be threatening, like that was our bag. Like it had a bunch of wires. Like it was maybe like 6 or like 4 feet tall, like it was a weird looking bag. So we bring all this stuff onto the boat. We just buy our own tickets. We don't tell anybody what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And we hand out lines. We hand out cards in line, basically say like, download the app. And it looks very much like, allegedly similar, like the branding for Holy Ships, like, pink card says download Radiate, it makes you feel comfortable, right? So like very, very close to the branding. So everybody starts downloading the app. We get like 2,500 downloads, like from a line, when it's iOS only. So it's only on Apple. So it's like a lot of users for us at the time. And everybody gets on the boat and our bag doesn't show up. Like, oh, fuck, like nice. We got like all these people. We told them what's going to happen. Like there's no bag. So time goes by and I'm like, all right, well, we got to go. We got to go to security. Like we have to go try something. So we go downstairs and like on boats, what I forgot at the time, it was my first cruise, is like, it's all international employees, right? So like you're speaking to some Dutch guy or like some giant German dude or like some, giant Russian guy. So like, we go downstairs to the security and it's like this giant Dutch dude, this giant German guy, and this giant Russian guy. And like, they look intimidating, right? Because they're like cruise ship security guards. And so I see our bag, our sketchy giant black bag with cables, and I go to them and I'm basically like, hey, like, that's our bag. They're like, what is it? And I'm like, well, we run this app. I show them the app and I'm like, and I never, when I tell everybody this, like, I never lie. I don't lie. All right. I might omit the truth, right? Like I don't tell them that we're not working with the festival, but I do say like, we have an app that's for the festival and this is how it works on the boat. And they gave us our stuff.
Wow.
We take our stuff up, it gets a little bit better. And we start doing this whole thing, start plugging it all in. Eventually, on a cruise ship, they also have European ports. So we have all these different converters and, everything's going well. We're about to plug it in. We plug it in and we hear. So we basically accidentally blow a fuse in the main kind of like auditorium. And so I'm like, all right, like there's no way security's not about to just come up here because like who blows a fuse on a cruise ship? So sure enough, a giant, other dude, and I actually have this on GoPro footage because I had a GoPro on my head as we were doing all this. He comes up to us and he's like, you blew a fuse, like what is all this stuff? And I tell him the same thing, like, oh, my bad. We were just trying to hook this thing up for the kids here so that they can all chat with each other. Like we have an app so that everybody can, connect and meet.
Yeah, right.
Why, he says something like in his language. I'm sitting there. Michael's like over there in the corner, just like, freaking out. We're like, we're about to be like put on like, this jail underneath the boat for like blowing a fuse. We have no idea what's going on. So, but eventually he just was like, okay, like be careful. And he lets us do our thing. Okay. And it works. So for 2 days, they can use it. All the DJs are on, like Miha, Tommy Trash, Valentino Khan. They're all using it. We see Tommy Trash in the hallway. I am the Conan too. And he comes up to us. He's like, "You guys know how many people you got laid here, you fucking kings." And it was at that point that we kind of knew we had something special. Michael went back, quick Google. And that was like our first kind of like success story where like people were like, "This is cool." So that was probably the one of the wilder ones that Michael and I've gotten in.
It's pretty creative, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty creative. I mean, you would think that Insomniac would have come up with something like that for their app, so that like we have actual fucking service. Because I have zero service every time I go to EDC Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean,
and people would probably pay for it too. 99 cents that you could. On this local area network.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I bought like $50 worth of walkie-talkies for me and my friends, and they didn't work.
Yeah.
So.
So totally.
What is like, who do you have working with you for you at your office? Like, what is your team?
We have like our core team is like four full-time people, including myself, right? So there's me, and I kind of do, like the business and the marketing and the partnerships and the operations. And then I'm also like the HR person. So like, if you need anything like that, come to me too. So I do all that stuff. Michael is kind of like in charge of all things tech and design, like kind of like product related things and software engineering. And then Michael and I both do like vision stuff together, right? Like hand in hand. And then we have Natalie, who's our partnership and marketing manager. So she kind of helps with everything from our socials to our partnerships to figuring out new marketing things that we can do, or like hosting our meetups and helping with that kind of stuff. And then we have Christian, who's one of our software engineers, and he just helps crank out code and also everybody helps with vision when you're on a small team, because like Michael and I would be like, "What do you think of this?" And then someone would be like, "Nah, that's whack, but what do you think about this?" And we work together, right?
It's never bad to have all these ideas either, though. It's really good to have like ideas and have like open mind and open ears, because like, don't be intimidated. I want your fucking real opinion.
Right, exactly. Tell me what's bad, right? Like I always try to go into a conversation like without like with trying to make sure the person doesn't think I have an opinion. Like I don't want you to be like, "This is cool." I'm more like, I'm not sure about this. Like, what do you think, right? Versus like, "Oh my God, I made the most coolest thing ever." Like, what do you think, right? Because it is hard to get that out of folks. So those are our four like full-time core team members. And then we have 3 interns who help either with like graphic design, operations, and like marketing, so customer service, things like that. And then we have a data scientist too, named Joe, who helps us just figure out what people are using. Try to figure out when are we gonna see a dip in users, things like that. So that's the majority of the team. Then we have people like you, right? Like you're also on the team. And like I think it goes from there, right? So
I always tell people I was like, like Phil's my boss. Because for me, it's always like, if you pay me, you're my boss.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's how it works, And at this point, I was telling somebody, right? Because like free stuff is free stuff. Thank you so much for the free stuff. Thank you so much for the free tickets. Thank you for backstage. Got it. But until you start fucking giving me like money, or you finally request me like a W-9 or something like that, I don't fucking work for you. Like, at that point, I'm just doing you a favor, and you're returning one as well, right? And I was literally talking to my roommate about that the other day, and I was like, like I was trying to give an example. Like a good example is like, like the Lunchbox, like they pay me, IEDM pays me, Radiate pays me. Once you start paying me for things, then I can start considering like, oh, like they're one of my bosses, right? But until then, don't get off your high horse. You're not that special. No, I love it, man. I love your team. I love how much it's grown. I mean, a lot of people right now probably didn't even think you had like this many people on the team. They thought it was probably like just you and like one other person or something, Like it's like you're like naming like that, like what the fuck?
Yeah. Sometimes people also think that we have like a team of 40, and I'm like, nah, like this staff is really cool, like I wish I did, but
somebody asked me, they're like, "Oh, are you the owner of Radiate?" I'm like, absolutely fucking not. Like, come on, man. Like I have a whole ass like Instagram page. You think on there I would have been like, "Oh, hey,
something, right?"
Yeah, I would have like mentioned it or somewhere around there. Yeah, no, I've been having a blast like promoting Radiate. I think Radiate has been just great. And I think ever since I sent you that email or DM, I forget what it was, I'm like, it's been just a great partnership. And like, I've definitely enjoyed your company.
Same.
Um, Say it louder so they could hear it. Same. Hashtag save. Okay, who is okay? You're missing one person, man. You forgot one more person.
Rad the Rhino.
My guy.
Yep. And there's Rad the Rhino.
And there's the hedgehog.
And there's Heidi the Hedgehog, who you only really know if you're deep in, if you're using it, because there's a game in there. I don't know if anybody's listened to this and you haven't played the game in Radiate. If you, I'll just give it away. Everybody will know.
Do it.
Your profile. If you click on your profile and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see Rad the Rhino, a little character. You tap him where your rad points are. It'll open up a game. You either do that or you refer the app with somebody. You get the game too.
That is so sick. What's the game?
It's like it's basically you help Rad crowd surf. So there's Heidi the Hedgehog on one thumb and Rad the Rhino on the other, and more Rads drop from the top of the screen, and you just have to keep them up. You have to keep up as many as you can before they drop, and then
gotcha.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen that game before already in a different format.
Yeah, probably. I don't think you're using the wheel there.
So what was the idea behind Rad the Rhino and Heidi the Hedgehog?
So Rad the Rhino was basically created because we knew, like, when we started Radiate, we knew that we were gonna like have multiple communities, right? Like, it wouldn't always just be bass heads, it wouldn't always just be house folks, it wouldn't always just be EDM, right? So we wanted to build also like somebody like Tom from MySpace, like was everybody's first match too. Mm-hmm. That way, when you get on the app, it doesn't feel like you're alone. You got a first match, and it's also customer support. And so we basically, once again, we're just in a room at Google, right? Just hanging. Like, for the record, also Michael doesn't smoke as much as I smoke. So some of these stories, you know, if I may have smoked,
but I know people who have.
Yeah, I know people who do that. You know, right?
Hold on a second.
So we're sitting in a room because we knew that we needed our own Tom for MySpace, and we're just naming off alliterated animals: Allie the alligator, Jeffrey the giraffe,
the whole alphabet, bro.
Yep. And then finally, Michael comes out with Rad the Rhino, and we just all stop. And I'm like, yep, that's it. And then our buddy, in like 5 minutes, drew up, what Rad looked like and a little thing. And that was that. He was born.
Rad the Rhino is the most famous person on Radiate. I get asked about him every fucking time. They're like, are you Rad? Or is the owner Rad? Who's Rad? And I'm like, I don't even know. Yeah.
That's one of the top questions. It's Rad likes to tell us, Rad likes for us to basically say a certain thing. I'm trying to remember exactly. It's something along the line of like,
I always get mistaken for Rad the Rhino. The thing like, oh, I've talked to you on Radiate. You're Rad the Rhino. I'm like, I am not Rad the Rhino, my guy.
Yeah, so
I'm not that cool.
When people ask Rad, like, who are you, right? Or like, where are you from? Rad says he's from a country called Party All the Time-istan, literally right next to the country where the Oompa Loompas are from. And he was born from his dad, who was blue and a pink rhino. And his mom was a green and a yellow rhino. Makes sense. That's why he's pink, blue, and yellow. And then, naturally, when he came out, he was a multicolored rhino. So it makes sense genetically. So that's where he's from. He does work remote full time. I've met him a few times in my life. Really nice guy. But he likes Party All the Time-istan. Nice. So he likes to live there.
Some people live there. We call them wooks.
Yep. So it's a land full of multicolored rhinos and wooks. It's a nice place. Would recommend.
Fuck, man, we got tons more questions going on here. There is a question I get asked all the time. It's, how does Radiate make money?
Right. So we make money in like a similar way to like dating apps, right? Okay. So like Radiate's free. You can download it, use it for free. You can meet people for free. Everything you can do on the app, you can do for free. But let's say you just want to see a list of the people who want to connect with you. If you want that, then you pay money for the list, right? I think it's like $8 to see everybody in a festival that wants to chat with you. And then we also have a subscription service, which is $10 a month, which gives you one of those tokens that you can use in a festival to see everybody that wants to chat with you, but also gives you some other perks. So like in Radiate, you can say hey to somebody, which is anonymous. They don't know it unless they also say hey to you. Or I can send a super hey.
Or
right?
buy a token.
Or yeah, exactly. Or you buy a token. Yeah, exactly. Oops, sorry about that.
Tell Siri to shut the hell up.
Yeah, right. I'm busy.
Rude.
So yeah, or and then you get Glow, which you can send super haze, right? Which basically is like a message with my hey. So I'd be like, hey, I want to buy your ticket, or hey, I'm driving from New York, like and you get that message and you can choose to accept or not.
Okay.
You get 2 super haze per day if you don't have Glow. If you have Glow, you get 4 per day. So you just get like extra. And then you can also set a status. So it's called a pulse. If you have Glow, so you can kind of be like, who's coming from Miami? And as people are swiping, they'll see that and they can directly
like
respond.
a highlight status bar.
Exactly. So that's how we make money. It's just when people want better ways or quicker ways to connect with each other. We also do some things with brands, right? Like we'll like work with like Corona or like Bacardi to like just help with their activations, but we don't do ads. Like it's not like you'll be scrolling through the app and you'll see like a Bacardi ad. We'll just send you like a push notification that says like, hey, show the Radiate app at the Bacardi tent at Bonnaroo and you'll get a free shot, right? Things where it's like, okay, this is cool, right? Rather than like interrupt your experience with like a Bacardi ad that, has 2 people drinking. And it's like, okay. Right.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you start with 1 ad, then it's 2 ads. Next thing you know, it's like Instagram and it's like every 3rd picture has an ad. I'm like, okay.
Yep. So yeah, hopefully I don't think either of us ever want to get to that point where like we're doing ads. It'll always be, more boutique and like valuable to the person that's viewing rather than just like in your face. And
then I guess another question, like I've been asked a lot, mostly because I think like since I'm like an influencer for you guys, it's like I get asked a lot of these weird questions. Almost like they expect me to have like this handbook, and I'm just
I was about to say.
Hold on. Right. So people always ask about like, hey, how could I get my festival on Radiate? How does that work?
So my Venmo is filled. No, I'm kidding.
It's feeling a little empty right now.
If you just Venmo Frisky Hug, how it just shows up. It just
all of a sudden you're there.
So this one is going to probably evolve as we grow, but on Radiate, it's not like Facebook or Instagram where you can have like 20 Coachellas. Or 20 EDCs. There's just one Coachella. There's just one EDC. And so what we try to do is have like a list of like qualified real festivals. Something where if you got on the platform and you saw this event, we know with like 90% certainty that it's going to occur, that the promoters are real, and that like you're not going to show up there and they're not going to have water, for you at this festival, right? That's like that's what we try to figure out as we kind of vet, festivals. So the way that it normally works is they'll email us or they'll message Rad the Rhino in app, and someone on our team, either myself or Natalie, will like kind of look at, what they're doing. We'll ask them some questions. Is it a first-year festival? Is it a second-year festival?
Yeah, because first-year festivals are always a little sketch.
They're a little sketch, like even like Thunder Beats, which was like looked really, really good.
It looked really good, a little too good. And I'm having somebody on the podcast that was doing the festival, and he's gonna spill all the tea. He's like, yeah, man, like I want. He's like, yeah, man, I'm so down to be on the podcast, and I will tell you everything that happened wrong with Thunder Beats. I'm like, bro.
There you go. That'll be a good one. I'll be tuning in for that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, that's a big part of it, right? First year festivals, it's a little tougher to get on Radiate because we just don't want to send people. It's bad if we send people to a place and they get hurt, or they go to a place and they have a bad experience, because then when we try to do it again, it's less likely that they want to listen to us, right? It's like a friend tells you, hey, go to this bar. It's awesome. You go to the bar and it's, whack. I'm not going to go to
Right.
that guy's recommendations anymore.
And I can relate to that in the sense of like when I'm like promoting a brand, I don't want to promote a shitty brand or brand. Like I was promoting a brand where like my shorts, I got them, and that same day my shorts just ripped in half. And I was like, bro, I'm out. I can't promote something so shitty.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck that it's free. Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you that it's good and have you pay for it.
Yeah. 100%. So, they email us, we have a conversation with them. We just try to vet that it's real, that the promoters know what they're doing in a sense. And then we try to list events that, festivals that are, I'd say like 500, is it really like 1,000 people or more? Because that's kind of when like Radiate works the best as it is currently created. Anything less than 1,000, sometimes we'll do like a group chat for it. We'll work with them, make like a group chat rather than like the full kind of like forum and swiping and lineup and set times type of thing.
So like the big ones, do you promote them without them like even like trying to work with you? You just promote it because it's just such a big festival that like you're trying to get the community together at that point, man.
Yeah. So like Insomniac didn't talk to us until EDC Las Vegas was big enough where they were like, I guess we got to talk to these guys, right? So like EDC, the community unlocked EDC on the app first. We would email Insomniac, right, and be like, "Hi, can you look at our thing, please?"
I showed Pascal. I took his phone from him, and I literally.
I met Pascal after that, and we had a conversation, and he did remember you, and he said, "Yeah, so you were actually probably one of the reasons why I got to meet with Pascal, because it was like 3 things. He basically said like he met you, I think, was the first kind of like tick. Then he was walking through the crowd and he was meeting people, and he met a group, and he's like, "How did you guys meet?" And they're like, "Oh, this app Radiate, like it's awesome."
It's
like,
so sick. Oh, my heart, mi corazón.
Yep. And then the third time he like got tagged in like a big group photo of like people that met off Radiate, and that's when he had his people kind of just like email us to be like, "Hey, this is cool. Let's talk and just see
mi corazón."
So I want to say you were the first domino.
Yeah, I took his phone. I downloaded. Okay, so I don't know if a lot of people like even know this story or whatever, because I don't even think I talked about it. But like, I met Pascal for the first time at a Forbidden Kingdom pre-party. It was supposed to be a back-to-back, and they ended up canceling. I think it was. I'm not gonna try to remember. Who cares? But the audio ended up playing with Jessica, Audie, Fred, and then I met the owners of Forbidden Kingdom at their table. They introduced me to Pascal, and I just fanboyed hard. Next thing I know, we're outside because it was blazing hot inside. The AC didn't work, and I was like, "Pascal, you own this place, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "This sucks." And I started talking about the community. I'm like, "Do you even know what the community is doing and all this stuff?" And I'm like, "You know what, man? There's a couple things that you're probably outdated for, and I think I need to like, give you a heads up." I'm like, "Have you heard of the app Radiate?" No, I haven't. I'm like, "Give me your phone. Literally go to the app, download it." I'm like, "This app literally connects people together. It's connected me and my friends, connects other people and their friends." I'm like, half of this community is built on communication, is built on trust. We get that off meeting each other. We meet each other a lot of times through Radiate, et cetera, et cetera. And I just go on this huge spiel about Radiate, right? And then my second spiel was about Emma Capotes, right? I think she's just doing so many great things for this community. And I'm like, you have to acknowledge it. And I go, "Can I borrow your phone again?" And I go on YouTube and I subscribe to her. I'm pretty sure I did. At this time, man, he introduced me to a bunch of like people like in the community. He goes, "Oh, you need to meet so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, you're so inspiring. Here, meet these people," right? Which I'm not friends with like all these people, like some DJs and like some event promoters. And I think back and I'm like, man, I was so fucked up. Like, let's go. Let me just give you this idea, man. Radiate, right?
Radiate. So like Tinder, but not for dating.
Yeah, man. Oh man, bro.
And Pascal was probably like, "Well, yeah."
He was also fucking high, I think. So we were having a great time.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, but man, I forgot exactly what the topic.
We were talking about how festivals get on the app.
Oh, yeah, we were. And one of like the things I'm like asking is to like a lot of these like smaller festivals are trying to get into like your whole thing, and like they've been asking me like how does this go about? How does this make this happen, right? Is there ever an instance where you get like a certain amount of like backstage passes? Does that happen?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, 12 of them, no problem. Yeah, every single one. I got 10. Thanks, bro.
We try not to ask for too much, you don't want to be that friend, right? But we normally, if we work with the festival, we have a pretty good relationship because like we don't charge them, right? So like that's the other thing with this, it's totally free for the festival.
Yeah, which is
Sometimes
crazy
we
because they're
pay the
like willing to,
festival.
yeah, well, they're willing to like pay you too. And it's like,
Yeah,
at that point you could.
yeah, totally. So we could, so I mean, we did it in the past. We tried just like, charge the
Yeah.
festival here and there to do it, but it just wasn't the
But at
right.
this point, you're just filtering.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about there.
You know, God, man, have you been smoking? Have we been smoking all day? That I was just like, what is going on?
Really, actually, guys, what we've done, there's actually a joint here, and every time we Frisky
fake
Hug's
smoke,
actually
we
just
real
taking
smoke.
it out. Yeah. Also, like, I'm going to refer to you as Frisky Hug because I don't know if everybody knows your actual name.
That's actually really funny. So before this podcast started, me and Phil were talking about like, picking our battles, right? Because we're like, oh, what should we talk about? Like, what can we talk about? And I said, let's leave some like things that could get me like in trouble out, like no influencer battles ever again, right? One of the influencer battles was the fact that this girl, she didn't know like my real name, and she's like, I don't even know you. We're not really friends. I don't even know what your name is. And I was like, bitch, I've told you my name like 10 times. So at this point, it's like, it's not like a hidden agenda. If you go on like on my link tree, I have like 10 articles written about me. Like it's all got my name on it. So I changed my name. It says Frisky Hug on it. And right next to it, it says Manny. Just so nobody could ever pull that bullshit on me again. Yep. I'm like, yeah, so it's Manny.
So catch up the bag. Catch up the bag. It's
funny. It's funny because a lot of my friends, they call me Frisky Hug in public because if somebody hears it, they're like, wait a minute, what did you just say? Where is he? I tend to like, it's funny, like in a very like clusterfuck of an EDM community, but that I'm at, like, let's say I'm like in an EDM centralized like clubbish area. Like if you say Frisky Hug by accident, it's like, so people like start turning like, what did you say?
Totally.
And it's like, I mean, I've been like noticed in public, man, like airports, parks, at a random, like at like restaurants, people have talked about me behind my back, like at certain like random places, like, dude, like I had a story, man. This guy messaged me and he's like, dude, I just saw somebody with a Frisky Hug shirt on over in Colorado. Like he was snowboarding with your shirt on. And I was like, I stopped him and I was like, bro, we have to be friends. I'm like, I also love Frisky Hug. And I was like, bro, I haven't done like Frisky Hug merch in such a long time. And I was like, I might have to just get another whole batch and just, give them out, man. Like I don't really like sell like anything that I make or like big bundles of merch and stuff. Cause I feel like merch kind of like sells itself to you, right? You like, people are like taking pictures with like a Radiate shirt on, like, now 10 of their friends like, what is Radiate? What is that shirt? Yeah. Like your market, it's a marketing, battle, totally. So that's how I feel.
Make really, really good apparel too. Like, and it seems by hand. Am I wrong? Are you doing this by hand?
Yeah, I make everything by hand.
You're cutting, right? Like it looks in there, the quality.
Okay, so like I was saying, like the shirts, I'm trying to be a little bit more creative. At first, I was just doing like the wrist Radiate, right? But then like I started doing like Radiate Happiness, Radiate Peace, and I was like, oh, I really love like blending in the word Radiate, getting the symbol in there, and then just adding like a word, Radiate Positivity, and it's like it's just super cool because like I'm not just promoting the brand. I'm like making like a cool like sentence with it, right? And people love to like, a lot of people like to like have like a really cool sentence rather than, oh, I'm promoting merch a lot of the times, and I get tons of like DMs of like people wearing like the shirts and stuff, which is really fucking awesome. And I love you guys who do that. Like I love seeing people like wearing the stuff that I made, and I'm sure like as much as you love them wearing the Radiate, it's like, it's super cool. And then I did a collab with this candy company called Kandi Bar. I just had them on the podcast a while ago, and they mailed me a shit ton of like candy packs, which I gave out with the Radiate shirts.
Yep.
And it was like this whole bundle of things I was just giving out. And I'm like, I just love the like it's like the gift that keeps on giving, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you come to one of these meetups, you're gonna receive gifts, you're gonna receive love, you're gonna receive hugs, you're gonna receive so much love from me, the brands, and the community. And I'm like, this is just like that's why so many people fucking come. Like
Yeah. We have a good time. We make it a good time.
I mean, like I think the smallest group of like people that I had it was like 25 people, and I'm like,
Yep.
still that's like a good chunk, and I'm like,
Yep.
like the fact that I've had like 100 people at one time is fucking crazy
Wild.
to me,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, and at first I was like, oh, it's a fluke, and they just kept happening. I'm like, oh god, it's just so cool to see like the love and like people's stories when they talk to me, because they go to these meetups just to tell me like the Radiate story, right? Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like these are all my friends. We all made a Radiate. Like we don't even know each other, but like we met on Radiate, and like now we're like super close. And like so we were like, oh my god, I met like my husband, through Radiate. Like we've been married 3 years now, and this and this. And it's just super cool, like seeing these stories, and it's just like
Yeah.
being
It's
able to like
wild.
be a part of this experience is very enlightening. Um,
Yeah, 100%. And we love having you there too, because like you also bring like your people who are super friendly, right?
oh
Like
yeah.
I feel like the Frisky Hub tribe is like funny, open, awesome party people, you know? So I feel like you bring both worlds together and you just make it just becomes like an awesome kind of like
Yeah.
feud.
And I get some of like my friends. I was like, I have to like tell some of my friends like at least like two or three of them. Like I need somebody to hold the totem. I need somebody to hold the camera. I'm like I can't do everything myself. And it's
Yeah.
funny. I was at Okeechobee and my neighbors. I was telling them about Radiate and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, like if you guys want to come, that'd be great. But if you guys could help, even better because
Better.
I can't hold all this shit. So
Yep.
so I had I think at that time 4 people, somebody holding the flag, somebody holding the camera, and then people holding like the shirts, and somebody else holding all the candy. And I was like throwing things like, "Who's a medium? you know, can I get an extra large?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all part of the love. It's
So
all part of the
fun.
community.
So fun.
You have any festivals and stuff that you're going to after this? After what you got going
Only
on?
thing on my plate right now is EDC Las Vegas, but it's not, no one should do traveling like I do, but I normally don't know what I'm doing until like the week before. So I have no flights right now. I think I'm pretty sure I have tickets, but I have no lodging. I'll figure it all out in like 2 weeks. But yeah, I'd say 80% chance of EDC Las Vegas.
That's how it was with North Coast. I think it was like you didn't even know you were going till the day
Yeah,
before, and I was like, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of things, man.
Maybe North Coast again, either North Coast or Arc.
I
Maybe both.
I think I might be doing Arc. One of the DJs might have an artist pass for me, so I'm like, oh, why not?
Yeah, why not? 100%.
If
100%.
he said he's playing, I'm like, okay. I'm like, can I be your guest? He goes, well, I don't know why not. And I'm like, perfect. He was on the podcast, and that's why I love the podcast so much. It's like
Yeah.
I make these really cool friends, and it's like at first they question me because like they've never talked to me in person a lot, and like after talking to me,
Right.
they're like, bro, I got these things if you're down, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I am very much down. I love being cool. It's funny. A lot of people smoke, man. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I had a promoter from Florida, and like he smoked the entire episode. He was just like blazing it up the entire time. Like, do your thing, man. I fucking love that for
Yep.
you.
I was thinking about rolling a joint up for this one. I was like, yeah. Well, maybe next time.
Yeah. I have a lot of fucking festivals coming up, man. I mean, I'm definitely gonna see you at EDC Las Vegas. That's definitely like a for sure thing.
Yeah.
I had these brands asking me like the same thing, like you asked me, like, what are your festival lists, right? And like
Mhm.
my festival list grew from when I fucking like sent you that one. And it's like, like I just keep getting like guest list passes, or I have like people that are like, providing me with tickets. Close
Yeah.
friends are like, hey, like I would really love to go. Like,
Yeah.
here's a ticket. One of my best friends, man, he got me a free ticket to Lost Lands, and I was like, okay, fucking sending it. I
Go to
wasn't
Las
planning
Vegas.
wasn't planning it, but I'm gonna do it now, like
Yeah.
and then now I got a free ticket to my other fucking close friend, my roommate, Eric. He's like he literally travels with me. We're fucking like butt buddies at this point. And yeah, he got me like a free ticket to Sunset, and I was like, okay, I have Skyline. I'm like I couldn't okay, so I can't promote certain festivals because like a radius clause.
Right.
So he's like, well, like here's a free ticket. I'm like, oh fuck, okay, cool. So now I'm gonna like go to Skyline and Sunset in the same weekend. I'm just gonna go back and forth.
Epic.
I
Fuck
don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see.
Why not?
I'll see what
Why not?
happens.
Yeah. At least it's there, you know. The adventure awaits.
Yeah.
Should you choose.
Do you do anything over in like New York area? Because you live in New York, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do occasionally, or do you just like kind of work, or do you just kind of like randomly travel places? What do you do for like for fun?
For fun.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Or the weekends, I guess.
Yeah, you know, on the weekends I go out well, at least once on the weekend. I chill a lot because like we work a lot too. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like one of those like work hard, play hard things. At least
Yeah, it's
until
so fucking hard,
hire more
man.
people and like get to a next level. It's kind of
No,
like still like that startup grind.
oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
it's very relatable, man, because like I do surgery and stuff, and like I work 12-hour shifts Monday through Thursday, man, and it gets to that fucking Friday, and I'm already defeated. And then my coworkers want to hang out? No way! The last thing I
Yep.
want to do is see you guys.
Yep.
Y-
Michael has a lot more energy than I do for this kind of things.
Yeah,
Like he goes out like on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. That
that's
boy's
my
ready to,
roommate, bro. That's
yeah. I
literally my
don't know where the
roommate,
energy comes from, but like
dude.
he has
Facts.
this innate social energy that just like powers him through. And then he stays till the end too. Like that's the one thing with Mikey. Like,
No
yeah,
way.
yeah, just
Dude, it's funny because like, everybody went out. I think yesterday or the day before that. They go out Monday through like they go out every day, right? And like you want to go? I'm like, dude, it's a Wednesday, my guy. Like I'm tired.
yep,
I'm lucky if I can make it upstairs
yep.
to my bed.
Yep. Same, dude. Same. So,
Fuck, man. But like
I go out to like, like if you've probably been to Brooklyn Mirage or like the Avant Gardner
yeah,
in New
yeah,
York. Yep. So I
yeah,
go out there often for shows over there, and then other just kind of like clubs like that or things in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's kind of like my preferred area of frolicking and having fun.
yeah.
And then, I play the occasional video game here and there. I've been sports betting, been doing that, takes the edge off a little bit. And, and then I travel, I travel to the festivals and, try to see the world when I can type of thing. How about you? What are you up
Me,
to? Yeah.
I'm very fucking similar to you. It's like I like Monday through Thursday, bro. I just can't go out, man. I'm sorry. People, I don't care that it's base night. I don't care that fucking Dombreski's at that club with you. Like I'll say hi to him later.
Yep, I'm tired.
I'm tired. And it's funny because like Dombreski was just like downtown hanging out with like like some of my friends. And so was like a Crazy's manager or like whatever, a bunch of people,
Mhm.
right? And I was like, I am just so tired.
Yep.
And I'm gonna miss this opportunity. Sorry.
Yeah.
But guess what?
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking Project Glow on the weekend. I don't care. Like,
Yeah. That's the other thing is like, if you're putting yourself in the scenario enough times to like, know that you're going to experience something similar soon, then like why hurt yourself or like push yourself,
mm-hmm.
it's like can meet these guys this week on the weekday, or like 20% chance I meet them next weekend, but 100% chance I meet somebody, type of thing. Like I put myself in
Yeah,
that
man.
type of environment,
But
right?
plus,
So
like, well, so when you get to like our level and stuff of like in the industry, we got shit that we actually have to do for this industry. Like,
yeah.
I have articles to write. So, for, like, I have articles for like websites I gotta write, man. I got like sometimes I got pictures I gotta edit. I still have to edit my own vlogs. I got podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing a podcast right now on a Thursday, right? That's like what I prefer to do. Then, oh, let me go out on a fucking whatever.
Oh
I mean, after this, I might go out, but.
yeah. It's a
Oh
Thursday,
god.
it's a
I mean,
Thursday.
it's not on Monday though.
Not a
And,
Monday.
and, and it's funny. My roommate was like, "What does it matter?" He's like, "You're in Orlando. It's the town of hospitality and blah blah blah." I'm like, "What does hospitality have to do about a Monday? Why can't you be hospitable on a Saturday?" So you just don't understand. You're not from here. I'm like, "But you go out like 7 days a week." So I don't understand what.
Wow.
what. Oh god, that's the life here, man. Everybody does it. Everybody goes out. There's a lot of people that go out on the weekdays, and it's like it's crazy to me, But
Yeah.
like I'm just not one of those people. I prefer festivals. I prefer traveling. I've been not traveling right now because like I moved to Orlando from Denver, which is super funny because I'm working with brands that sent me clothes and it's sent to my old address. So now I'm like, I need clothes for Project Glow. Not that I don't like, not that I can just go in my closet, but like,
Right. Of
But like,
course.
we're trying to work something out. Obviously, I don't want to waste the festival, and if a brand wants to work with me, I don't want to waste that
Right.
festival.
Waste that moment. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like, I would rather wear your clothes than not only do I have free, like clothes to wear, but you also get like, free promo. So
Yeah.
free clothes, free promo. We all do what we
Win-win.
got. Yeah, let's just fucking all work together. And I don't want to miss that opportunity. And I was like, because I'll tell you this, man, I'm very picky with like what I choose to promote when it comes to these festivals. If you didn't help me fucking wear something, I won't tag you.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Like, I won't even
Yeah.
speak about you. Like you won't even be mentioned. You know.
Mhm.
Man, I just fucking reminded myself. I have to edit some vlogs, man.
You have to edit some blogs.
Vlogs. Yeah.
Oh, even more work.
You need wow, have you guys thought about having like a bigger social media presence? Like have you guys ever thought about like starting like a YouTube channel?
We've thought about like hiring someone or like working with someone to like do fun things at a festival. Like you ever see those guys on TikTok? Not to say that we would steal their thing, but like they have like that sign that says like, do this by this time, we'll give you like $100. You ever seen those guys?
Dude,
They're like,
yeah.
basically they stand there with a sign and like college kids walk by and read it, and it'll be like, come back with a box of Fruit Loops and we'll give you $100. And you'll see the kids like run and like, come back with a box of Fruit Loops and they'll give $100. Like we were thinking we could do things like that where it's like, someone stands there and it's like, come back with, I don't know, something weird like a rubber duck for $100, and just like see the kids like run around, or like maybe someone just has a rubber duck, right? And they're like, here you go, right?
I've
So
never
like
thought about that. That's really creative.
it could be really fun. I feel bad because like those guys totally did it, and like if we did do it, like sorry, but like,
I mean, they've already got clout. They're not worried about people like us stealing their fucking lightning and thunder.
Yeah. So, that I think that would be really fun, to do. What else was there? There was another idea with like basically it was all around like working with like, people like yourself to basically like co-brand some type of like Radiate thing at the festival, like they see Frisky Hug, like they know from 5 to 6, like Frisky, or like not 5, it's 5 to 5:15, Frisky Hug's going to be here. And like maybe we send out like the tip by like notification. So like, whoever gets to you first type of thing.
Like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, like a scavenger hunt, right? But like easy, because if you're like tripping allegedly on shrooms or something, it's easier to find than
what I would do, man, is like we coordinated that. It would be like I would wear like a panda outfit and be like, find the panda by the Ferris wheel if you want free Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like I just got like these free Chick-fil-A gift cards, and it's just like, and it's like it's like it won't be like I would rather be like a costume idea. Find like the bunny, find the rhino, but
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Man, you're creative as fuck.
Yeah. So that's the things we've been thinking about is like just like working with other content creators to create the content and like just kind of like provide the initial kind of like buzz with like our user base, just like get people going, and then from there share the residual clout.
Where do you think that Radiate's gonna be in 10 years?
So in 10 years, what we're hoping to have is like a platform that whenever you're thinking about going out or you want to meet someone new or generally kind of be social, our platform, you open it up and either like we can recommend people, right, to do things with. Like you say like, I want to get dinner, and we're like, well, you're friends with Manny, so Manny has like 6 friends in the city that we think you might want to grab dinner with, like say hello, right? Like things like that, where like we can try to like introduce you to the people that you should be introduced to before you get there.
I feel like you're going back to your original app idea.
Which was
it was that initial app that you and Michael were both like engineering before you guys decided to do Radiate.
Oh, the one where it's basically connecting like around.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? We're going from like, I think what we want to do is, I guess the first app was more like still like community focused, kind of like your gym community and festivals. Music festivals. Go for it.
There's this app called, I think it's called Meetup. And it's literally that idea where people in the community here, like, hey, who wants to go hiking? And then people who are on the app will do that. So basically you're talking about Meetup, but for ravers.
I'm talking like, imagine if on Meetup, you didn't even have to join that hiking group, right? And we're talking like 10 years, right? So like, tech is super cool, right? So like I'm saying, like, imagine if like you were on Radiate and you just used it for what you wanted to use it for. So you went to a festival twice. You used it at a ski resort because we were working with a ski resort. You met some people while you were skiing, and you get back to New York and you're like, I want to do something this weekend. You just tap the I want to do something this weekend button. And like we're able to kind of like, based off of who you've met and what events we know you like, recommend things to you, right? Without you having to like go there first. Versus Meetup, where it's like, I'm a hiker, where's the hiking group? Bang, right? It would be more just like, I'm Phil and I want to do something, and Radiate would know what Phil would want to do and the people that Phil would want to meet. So, but all still around, I would say, like experiencing life, right?
I'm hoping that in 10 years, man, Radiate becomes like big enough platform where when we go to a club, we're not looking at Instagram, we're looking at Radiate.
Yeah, seems.
That's what I'm hoping for Radiate, right? Because like I love and adore you guys, and like everything we've been through, right? I adore, and I'm like, dude, I'm hoping the best for you guys. I'm hoping that, like, in 10 years, instead of me fucking checking my Snapchat, I'm checking my Radiate. And it's like, hey, who's got Molly? Because it's all about sex, drugs. It's all about, I mean, we all go back to the same thing: sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
All right, Phil. Where can people find you, man? What are the handles? If you want to give out your personal, you can. What is the brand company handles as well?
Yeah, my personal one is on Instagram. It's NowThatsAGoodPicture. And then for Radiate, on everywhere, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, it's Radiate the World. And if anybody ever wants to email me, it's my first name, Philip, PHILIP @radiatetheworld.com. I'm an open book for the most part. So if you want advice, anything of the sort, hit me up.
And he didn't mention this, but they're also on TikTok.
We are also on TikTok, Radiate the World. That's right.
TikTok's a thing. I mean, TikTok's growing. I mean, so it's crazy because I took a little bit of a break, and then I went, like I didn't like stop, but like, I'm not posting as I used to. It was like I was posting like 3 times a day and whatever. But like, see some of my peers and some of my these newer content creators continuously going. They're like at 50K, 100K. I'm like, dude, congrats, because honestly, you fucking deserve it, man. Like, you fucking deserve it. I'm not jealous of you. I'm just I'm just angry at myself for not putting more effort in it. But then I remember, like, I am just like, I'm working on different things, right? Like not everyone has a podcast to do. I have to edit like an hour to 2 hour videos. The setup takes like 30 minutes. The breakdown takes another 30 minutes. Like, I'm like, but guess what, man? Like, we're all doing our own journey, man, because my journey isn't to be a top TikToker. My journey is to eventually work in the EDM community. And I think I want just to do podcasting for a living, honestly, and do just EDM shit on the side. Like, I think I want like, I'm working on, hopefully one day I'm going to get a studio and I'm going to do a podcast every fucking day, an in-person podcast every fucking day. I'm gonna fly motherfuckers in here, DJs, EDM people, and I'm just gonna bring them all. Like, let's just fucking talk for an hour and every day. That's some like 15-year plans. Obviously,
I'll come on the podcast whenever. I love talking with you.
Come through,
listening to people you talk with. So I'm in it.
Fuck yeah, man. It just have like a look. We had like little parties one time, like at the other event. We had like fucking people alternating in and out. We had like a total probably like 12 people that came into the podcast in 1 hour, and I was like, bet this is great.
Fun.
A little chaotic, but it was more of a fun podcast, and it's not a bad deal to have that once in a while.
No, totally. Fucking awesome.
We get a little fun. All right, Phil, man. It has been a pleasure, my guy, having you on the podcast. For my viewers, this is available on all streaming platforms. If you want to watch us and see our hand movements, our faces, what the hell noise is, the video is on YouTube. You want to see what the hell that is all about. But like I tell you guys at every episode, I'll catch y'all at the next one.